guys? Alex here with TFL Bike, and right now I'm standing in front of a 2015 Yamaha FZ-07. Really rad bike. I actually owned one of these in the past when I was in college, and we're just gonna give you a little walk around today. Case is behind the camera, and we're here with his roommate Connor, who just picked this up not too long ago. So come on in here, Connor. And yeah, just I guess start off by telling me why you decided to pick up an FZ-07.
FZ-07, I really want my girlfriend to start riding with me, so we all have different bikes at the house, and essentially the 07 I thought was a really good platform for her to start to learn. I had an 09, honestly, riding an 09, the ergonomics of that bike I really fell in love with, and the 07 is just essentially the same platform, but a lot lighter, very nimble. So essentially it was a good start, I thought, for her to, you know, kind of get into it. Super easy power range. You don't need the torque if you don't want it. Kind of just have a lot of fun on it. So
yeah, I mean, this uses Yamaha's CP2. It's their cross-plane 689cc parallel twin. Right around 72, 74-ish horsepower, 50 foot-pounds of torque, and you know, for a bike that you're gonna ride as an experienced rider, but also putting someone as a beginner on, it's kind of a good balance of not too much power, but
yeah, and that
enough
was
for you.
Part of the thing was too is, you know, if I want to hop on it and I want to take her somewhere on it too, it needs to be kind of best of both worlds, right? Like I want to have enough power to still be on the highway and get around traffic if need be, but at the same point I want her to be able to get on it and feel comfortable. The 09 was definitely a bit above that level, so this honestly in my mind sits perfect of that. Like you can putz around on it at a slow speed, and you can also really get into it and really rev it out, and also still have a lot of fun being an experienced rider. So totally.
So let's kind of just look at the condition of it, and you know what it was like when you bought it. Have you done much to it since you picked it up?
Yeah, pretty minimal amount that I've done to it. So originally I bought it with like 3,100 miles. I think I've only put 40 miles on it so far, just been so busy, but put new bars on it. The other ones were bent. This was a stunt bike. Essentially, it was bought from a guy down in Denver that was in like a riders club and did a lot of wheelies and stuff on it, but it's only got 3,000 miles. I was like, you know, there's nothing detriment done to the engine at that point. So, you know, essentially I kind of want to go same design aesthetics that I did with my 09 with it. Put a regular round headlight on it and kind of get rid of the ugly alien looking front end. But these bars have a bit more sweep to kind of bring it back so she could be more comfortable. Pulled the front fender off. Eventually I'll do tires on it. It had a brand new tire when I bought it, so I just, you know, kind of want to give it that street scrambler look. I mean, it was, you know, it's a little beat up, the seat's all tore up, it's got some nicks and dings in it, but you know, I'll probably go through and refinish it and make it my own, just like I did with my 09. So, and she'll love it.
Yeah,
like it too.
And I know you were talking about maybe lowering this bike. Is that still something you're thinking about doing?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely want to look into the options. I know that there's lowering links for the 09. I honestly haven't put a lot of time into looking into how I could actually get around doing this. I don't know if there's benefits of getting a better shock that could set up that has a shorter span that I could also just tune up and then be able to ride it for when I want to, and then turn it back down for her.
Right.
Or because I know that the link system compared to this in the 09 is much different, so it's not like you could use 09 links on this. So I don't know, definitely looking into options, but as of now, I mean, she could still sit on it and basically get, you know, her pads of her feet on the ground pretty comfortably. So I think it's still good enough to just kind of go for now.
It's usable for sure.
Totally.
So one of my favorite parts about this bike is the exhaust. The exhaust on here is the M4 exhaust, and it sounds pretty mint. These bikes sound great from the factory, but this is one of the best sounding exhausts, I think, for the FZ-07. I had a Yoshimura pipe on mine when I owned it back in college, and I think this one sounds even better. So let's give it a crank and just give you an idea of what this sounds like. Super loud, super throaty. I love it.
Honestly, it was one of the selling points because the exhaust was already on the bike, and it's like you pick up a bike already, you know, for me being a safe rider, especially on the highway, I want it to be loud. And I think that's like kind of a crucial thing for, you know, riding a bike through traffic is like I'd rather people to hear it, and then they're already heightened, and you know, they're going to think about what's around them before they just budge into lanes. So that was kind of my idea behind it.
I'm on the same page with you. I mean, a lot of people, especially a lot of our viewers, don't love loud bikes, but I like them loud. I agree. Makes you a little more noticeable in traffic, and it just sounds badass too.
Yeah, and again, with her getting on, you know, a bike first time, you know, starting to learn to ride and stuff, again, from my side of things, I want it to be safe. And again, you hear a motorcycle as you're driving down the road, you immediately think like, oh,
more alert.
I should pay attention to, you know, I hear it, I don't see it yet, I'm going to be looking for it.
Yeah, especially when it's bright red too.
Exactly.
Stands
Yeah.
out.
So my idea is just, you know, I'd rather have it and have it loud. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so I recently, guys, went on the Yamaha R7 program, and a lot of you guys in the comments said that the biggest weak point of the bike was the sound. This is the same motor they use in a bunch of different bikes: FZ-07, which is now the MT-07, XSR 700, Tenere 700, R7 now. There's a lot of them, and they'll all sound this good if you put an exhaust on them. So if you buy one of these, I'd say first thing you should do is put a pipe on.
And the power, to me, I was so expecting this to be just such a like downfall from the 09 to the 07, because my 09 was a 14. This is the 1507, and literally, like, I was expecting it to feel a whole cylinder shy of power. And I mean, honestly, you really don't even notice it until you notice a little bit in the low end torque, like between like 2 and 3K, and then at the way top end, you know, that 9500 and up RPM range, where it's like, that's the big difference. But through the mid range on this bike in the 09 is so similar.
Yeah, and I can still keep up on the highway. I mean, it's not like you're struggling to get around.
Really, like, and it's honestly the feel from the weight difference. I mean, it's not a lot of weight. I think it's only 20 or 30 pounds or something, but it feels awesome.
I mean, and you'll know this, you own a Supermoto. When I owned this bike, I always compared it to a Supermoto.
It's 100% similar to a Supermoto.
It rides just like a Supermoto, which is awesome. It feels just as lightweight, just as nimble.
What was really funny, the guy that I bought it from, he was on a Grom as I came to pick it up from him, and he had like a stunted out Grom, and he's like, honestly, the 07 is just a Grom with a bigger engine, and I 100% agree with it. Like,
totally.
It literally is. So
now, do you mind me asking how much you picked this up for?
So we paid $5,500 for this. Again, super low miles, and it already had the pipe, so I kind of justified it that way. You know, really, the market for these is insane right now.
It's crazy.
I mean, I was looking around for like 2 or 3 months, and you couldn't touch one for $6,500 with over 10K miles on it. So in my mind, it was like $5,500, and I knew that it was already stunted, but like, if I have to throw a clutch in it, not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not the end of the world. Realistically, 3,000 miles on this motor, this thing's gonna run forever, so I'm really not worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sweet deal. These were about, I think they were just under $7,000 when they were brand new. Nowadays, they're a little over that. I think they're like $7,700, but you get ABS, you get traction control. Pretty stripped down basic motorcycle though. I mean, standard fork up front, not a lot of tech. It's just pretty raw. No ride-by-wire, no ride modes or anything.
Cable clutch,
you
know, it's super simple. And actually, I mean, even the feel on this, the 09, I must complain, the 09 clutch was 10 times worse than this. And this feels darn smooth for a cable clutch. So again, from my aspect of like, I want her to get on this and start learning, I think this is such a great platform. Feels light, it's easy to maneuver, it's pretty low. The power range is good. I think it's just such a great like platform to start out on.
Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little walk around of a 2015 FZ-07. A lot of friends ask me all the time if they're looking for a bike, what should they start out with? And I think this is a really good option. They're getting to be affordable. Everything's kind of up right now in the market just because of COVID, but this is a great platform to start on, and something you probably won't grow out of too fast. You'll have usable power for a couple of years before you want to move on to something bigger and better, and I think we can kind of prove that point with you moving from the 09 down to this. You're plenty happy with it.
Totally happy with it.
Cool.
I don't regret it at all.
That's awesome to hear. Well, thanks, Connor. Appreciate it.
Right on. Thanks,
and
Alex.
Head on over to tflbike.com so you don't miss any stories in the bike world, and we'll catch you in the next video.